Let me tell y'all one thing I started doing. If I go to a restaurant, I will eat 1/3 of whatever it is, and I'm taking the rest home. Now, if I pass someone that is homeless or on the corner, I'm giving them the 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm going to eat another third on the next day and another third on the next day. But it takes a lot of discipline.
I was just going to say, that's so much restraint because I just can't.
No, but you know what? I don't even, because I'm not even hungry. If I go beyond the 1/3, I'm just eating to be eating. So then what I do is just drink me some warm water after I eat that 1/3, and try to make myself, full the rest of the way.
Yeah, I get that too. I don't even know how y'all do it in the US because every time I visit down there, like the portion sizes are literally twice as big. Like, you guys know Bojangles? Have you been to Bojangles?
I haven't been to Bojangles.
In the north side, North Carolina.
Well,
I haven't.
My family, we go on vacation. We go on vacation to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, every once in a while. We usually try and make it about once a year. When the world is not shutting down. We have a trailer. We drag it down there. So on the way down, we eat lots of good Southern food. But when we get there, there's always a Bojangles right near the campground we stay at. And the portion sizes there are huge, like compared to what an acceptable portion to my brain looks like.
So
when I order that thing, I'm like, I'm dying. It's huge.
Yeah, I don't feel like fast food is actually that big of portions in comparison to restaurants, unless you get like the super size. So it's funny that you talk about a fast food place being big portion because, in the restaurants it's much bigger. You're getting a plate that's probably this big and it's completely full of food, not to mention that appetizers are encouraged, dessert is encouraged, so that's additional food on top of that, and then you got your drinks, so you can easily consume thousands of calories in one meal at a restaurant in America.
But I choose my battles. I know if I go out, I want somebody to make me a drink. So therefore, I'm getting me a salad, eat my third, and have me a drink. So I'm balanced. It's all about balance because if I feel like if I cannot have something, I will absolutely lose my mind. Like seriously.
Right. Yeah, no, because it's all about like a little give and a little take, right? Like you gotta give yourself little bits of things that make you happy. And some of those are food things, and some of those are drink things, and some of those are other things like a bath or a new pair of socks or a shirt that fits you right this week and things like that, right? You gotta I'm not about the whole treat yourself mentality because oftentimes people treat themselves into poverty. But
facts.
But
I'm not gonna say anything.
In moderation, a little bit of being extra kind to yourself, especially when you had a particularly challenging week or day and you managed to push through it and you're proud of yourself for that, you're allowed to give yourself rewards. And even then, separating rewards from food and having it just be something you get a reward for being alive today, because just by the nature of being a human who exists in this world, you get rewards because you're allowed to have things you want.
That's right.
I was just thinking, literally sometimes just being at home alone and able to do my own thing is a reward.
I know.
Yes.
That is true. Just a moment of silence is just golden. Because I was before March, I was very high strung. I didn't even realize how exhausted I was. I was literally exhausted. I think that's why I got to the weight that I did at 214 pounds, because I would be at work eating just to stay up, to get that sugar rush to stay up and make it throughout the day. And I'd be driving home from work and just exhausted. And so I was very short with my children. And now I'm just like, you know what? Most days I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, but it's not that bad. It's not that serious like it was before. I would just blow up it's a toy. I stepped on a toy. But now it's get it up. It's just So anyway.
I'm out of beverage, but I only had 90 calories worth left in my day, so I can't go make another one.
No, yeah, don't
Yeah,
go.
I was just like, I'm kind of
Tapped
letting it
out.
tonight for this night, but I'm actually starting to do like a OMAD type of thing. Or maybe more intermittent fasting. I don't know. I'm having a very small breakfast and then I'm eating a big meal at like 2:00 and then that's it. So it's actually been working out pretty well for me because I can eat whatever I want. I can eat as much as I want and then I'm still losing weight.
I love intermittent fasting. Like it changed my life. I'm like, because for the very first time since I started my weight loss journey this time, I started doing my micros and paying attention to all that. I was like, man, I eat horribly. Really, I do. I mean, like, because my protein was like the lowest amount, like 17%. I don't know how much I'm supposed to have at this point. I just want to start tracking. I was like, okay, I ate 1,700 one day, and one day I ate 11 something. I'm like, I'm all over the board. I need to do better. I don't see how people do it.
Honestly, like, because when I've restricted like my calories and stuff, or paid attention to what exactly I'm getting, like for me, it's too much. Like I want to be able to enjoy my food and just like not stress about it, you know. And I think that when like you start getting into, you can't have this or you have to have this, or you know, then you start feeling like, oh, I don't even feel like eating it, and then it's either cheat or don't eat. And for me, it's usually cheat.
But I mean, like, my whole thing is this: who are you cheating on? You cheating on yourself.
I know some people don't like that term, but for me, like,
I hate cheat. I hate the word. I hate cheat day. I hate it. I'm like, I mean, like, if any other situation, like if you were in a relationship and somebody said they cheated, you're almost out the door. So why would you not? Why do we have to have these words, man? These just. I know
They're
we
loaded
have to
words for sure.
I mean, it's ingrained already. I don't really have like negative connotations with the word, so I don't mind using it. But I know what you mean. Like in like a normal society, the word cheat is very negative. So we shouldn't be associating that with food. But for me, it means happiness. It means like this day I can eat whatever.
And see,
like,
that's the thing is,
cool.
Now you've started to connect breaking your diet with being happy.
You're right.
And now you've created a loaded relationship there too, where it's like you can get happy by breaking your diet.
Yeah, and I've really been like messing up a lot of my diet, so I can see like how that probably affected it. But with intermittent fasting, it's really helping me because I say like, oh, I feel like eating this today, and I eat that. But just for that meal, and then I just like don't eat. And I'm also like trying to do like mental exercises when I'm not eating. Like, no, I don't need to eat. I'm not hungry, or I can wait, or you know, whatever. And it's actually been really helping me. So
that's good. It helped me too. It changed. It's a game changer because I feel like I can actually feel when my food is digesting in my stomach is not always like
like when you go to bed.
Yeah, it was like constant.
Yeah, like I'm not stuffed when I go to bed. It's really nice. And the crazy thing is, if I eat like a really big meal at 2:00, I'm good for the entire evening. Like I don't feel hungry like until like right before bed, and I feel like that's almost like a trigger thing. Like, oh, I haven't eaten yet. I need to eat something, but like I'm fine. You know, it's kind of crazy. So.
Yeah, and longer you do it, the easier it gets. So anything you do with consistency, it gets easier. So let's go to this. I'm gonna start sharing.
We're gonna start doing this video.
What's that? We were reacting to a video.
Right.
Let's get a little more video reaction in this video reaction.
And you will never be fully happy. So once you accept that and you can accept yourself for how you are and open yourself up to change and everything like that, that is how you can go about doing it the healthiest way. If you could go back a year, what would you tell yourself before you started your weight loss journey? Accept yourself for how you are in this moment and be open to change, but know that it is not everything. You don't need to work out 3 times a day and eat a salad at every meal to lose weight and be healthy, because that's not healthy. Also, something that I realized and I came to terms with more recently is that before I had fully convinced myself that nobody would love me in a romantic way when I was that size, and I kind of was at peace with that. And I think that kind of had to do with the whole complacency thing. Looking back, So many people love you. So many people will love you no matter what you look like because you are a good person, and that's ultimately what matters most. So that's what I would tell myself. And if anybody needed that little pep talk, there it is for you. Okay. Next question. When you look at the old
okay, indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
Yeah. I just want to talk about really quick, like kind of what we were just saying, like all of us have different dieting aspects, but what she said, like you don't need a salad and to work out 5 times a day to lose weight. Like, and I've really learned this through my journey because I've been doing it for a little over a year now, maybe about a year, 3-4 months. And I've switched what I've been doing so many different times. And like something that could really work for me could only work for me for a couple months and then I have to change again. Like we have to know that it's fluid and it's not going to be just one size fits all type of situation, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. And even like your body is, we use all these metaphors to describe our body. Your body's a machine, your body's a car, it needs fuel. And like your body's not a machine or a computer. It doesn't only respond to one sort of thing, and it will not only respond if you treat it perfectly. If your body is anything, it's a body. It responds to some fuel better than others, and some days better than others. And your hormones will throw it out of whack, and your stress will throw it out of whack. Your people who menstruate, your period will throw it out of whack. Freaking the sky being blue will throw it out of whack. You guys know how it is.
Yeah.
But like you do not need to be perfect every single day to see progress over time. And that's part of the consistency thing, is that if you keep making little steps, you will see big progress over a big amount of time. But if you only measure the distance that you got from a little step, it only looks like a little measure.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with both of you ladies on that. I mean, I can't say any more because you all said it best. I mean, nothing else to say to that. And I think now one thing she said that I really didn't agree with, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate. You are perfect just the way you are. No, you're not perfect just the way you are. You always need to be working on continuous improvement, point blank, period. If you set a goal, continuously set goals and reach it. And if you don't have a timeline, a specific timeline for your goal, at least put somewhere where you can set a goal. Oh, I want to be a millionaire. By when? Like, and if I don't do it by then, I'm gonna need to do XYZ. I mean, I just
I've got a big brain thing for you. I've got a major life changer for you here. What if it's both? What if you're perfect just the way you are and you keep working towards your goals? What if here is perfect and there is perfect?
Boom! There you go, Alex with an eye. And I'm telling you.
Yeah, honestly, I disagree with both of you guys. No,
because you are where you are, and it's perfect for this moment, and you can move either way. Really, you can go.
I think like the fact that I'm deciding to change is good, but like where I'm at is not perfection. And I agree with her on feeling like you can't be loved at a certain size. Like, and I know that's not true because I see couples in life where there's a girl, or I mean, I'm just saying a girl because I relate more to the girls, but that are really big and with like a really good looking guy, or, you know, something along that lines. But I'm literally asking myself, and I know this is so mean, but I'm in the group. Like, how does that person get like a boyfriend? I really think about that, you know? And I think about myself too, like, oh no, I can't date, or I'm not ready to be in a relationship because I'm not where I want to be. And that means that I have to deal with things that I don't want in a partner because I'm not the perfect person yet. So how can I expect them to be the perfect person type of situation? So in that sense, I don't feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be yet. I don't feel like right now is perfection. But I also disagree that we have to continually, I guess there's always things that we need to be cognizant of. But I was listening to David Goggins. He was saying like, you always have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. I'm like, But what, like, you don't always want to do that, you know? Like, you want to get to a point where you can just be comfortable and maintain. You don't want to have to, like, overdo it the rest of your life or, like, restrict the rest of your life. Like, you want to get to a point where it's just maintenance, you know? Like, you feel good and you're doing the minimal just to keep going, you know?
But why do you want to do the minimum at anything?
Like, when you are at a good place in your life, like, you don't want to, like, keep pushing yourself, like, because for me, like, right now, pushing myself is a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get to a place where, like, I don't have to sacrifice. Like, I'm sacrificing now so I don't have to later. Like, that's my ideal.
You'll be sacrificing for something else.
Frugal Mama, you two are different. Listen, you guys will never get each other on this. You two are different. Because Frugal Mama, your spirit gets fed by striving. And Kayla, your spirit gets fed from rest.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Frugal Mama, I can tell from the way that you interact with the world that striving for more and trying to be better boosts you. It makes you feel good. But Kayla, I totally get where you're coming from too, where you say, like, I wasn't put on this earth to lose weight and pay bills. I want to rest someday.
Like, you're saying, Frugal Mama, about learning styles. Like, everyone's so different, you know? Like,
it's so hard for me to rest. I could be doing 50 different other things. You know,
but you know what? I don't want to rest all the time. Like, I do, like, if I'm at home for a week doing nothing, it's driving me nuts. That's why I feel for these people that have gone COVID and have to stay in their house for 2 weeks, because that would totally suck. And I haven't been on quarantine at all this entire time because my job's essential. But, you know, like, I want to get to a point where it's just, like, I'm happy where I'm at. I don't feel like I have to improve further in, like, this particular aspect. And I'm just maintaining it. I want to continue to maintain, but I don't feel the need to do more. Like, I'm okay where I'm at. But it's
how do you know when you get to the point where you're ready to maintain?
Well, like, I was just thinking about the fact that, like, in my job, I often ask myself, like, is this person going to stay in this position forever? Like, don't they want to, like, rise up? But I guess, like, it's just the way you think about it. Because in job aspects, you continue to rise up. I want to continue to rise up. But then in workouts, maybe it's just because I think about it differently. But I think, like, once I get there, I'm good. You know, like, I don't have to do anymore. I finally worked it out and I'm done.
But, like, once you get to your vacation spot, don't you want to go zip line and swimming and turn up and all of that?
I want a variation. Like, I do like to go do activities, but I also like to just chill, like, be at the all-inclusive resort with my drinks in the pool. Just, hey, you know, like, let me enjoy this sunset.
You know what? It's about balance. It's about balance, because you know that constant drive will make you go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too. Because I'm
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what David Goggins is. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs about his drive. Like, I cannot keep up with that. Like, I can see myself doing that until I get to that point, but he's at that point and he's still doing it. Like, where else are you gonna go?
I'm like,
because there's like what feeds your soul and then what drives your soul, right? Like,
I see your
there's
point.
Like the rest that feeds your soul, it fills your meter back up, and then there's like the things that drive your soul that make you want to go and jump into and do a thing. Like, I love being an educator. I love working with kids. It makes me happy, and it makes me want to I read books about how to be a better teacher. I read books about child psychology so that I can understand my future students better. And I haven't even been a teacher of a full class yet.
Do you ever see an ending to that, Alex? Or do you think that you'll always continue to read, like, the newest edition of child psychology to, like, make sure you're up to date and make sure you're continuing to improve?
I think that as long as there's a kid out there who doesn't know something, there's always more I could do to make sure that somebody's still learning. And that means that there's something that's not done in my job as an educator that I could teach somebody something more. If there's a kid who doesn't know how to freaking Irish jig yet, then I can teach them that. And I could learn how to do it, so I could teach them that. Is it my job to teach every kid in the world? But no, not necessarily. It's not my burden to teach every kid in the world, but I could.
Let me go back to talk about, just because you're maybe overweight, and I think we all do that, because I feel like just because, like, having dark skin doesn't have a positive connotation to it in most realms. Okay, I feel that we are often seen as worker bees, and I don't even know if that is healthy thinking. But I was like, when did I discover that I was Black? When did you discover that you were whoever you were supposed to be? Because I don't ever remember like a point where I realized this. But what I say all this to say is we can come to a point where we feel like good enough based on anything particular. It's a billion people in the damn world. One of these motherfuckers gonna find me. I'm right here.
Not one of them, but what if that's not the one you want? But I understand what you mean. Like,
yes.
You can just dig through the ones you don't want. When they start throwing them burn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't dig through the ones you want. But maybe it's like what you say, because representation of Black people is so minimal, just like representation of fat people. Like, you don't see very often a fat person being like the star of the show or the love interest or anything like that. And it is going to come more about, but it's so minimal. You see the gorgeous, white, beautiful girl being the one that's the center of attention. So you think that's
and she's always this big.
Right, exactly. So you think that's what it is. But if there is more representation for us as kids, then maybe we might be more accepting of, the situation around us.
Happiness is not going to have, it cannot be contingent on anything outside, because, and it's hard to do, and I don't have it mastered, but I started working on myself just within the COVID made me look at myself, because I was like, okay, I'm not going to say I always felt not good enough, but I didn't feel as valued as I should. I didn't value myself as I should. And I think that because of that, I allowed people to kind of not value me either. So now I'm just like, shoot, I'm the bomb.com, period, point blank, whatever. And I say that I do morning after.
Do you say that when you like don't necessarily feel it, or do you actually feel it? Because that's my problem. Like, I could say that, but I don't feel it.
Yeah, the most of the time that when I first started, I probably wasn't there, but the more I said it to myself, the more I started to believe it. The more like I surround myself with positivity. Like on every wall, I open up a cabinet, I open up a closet, I got positive things. I want to surround myself with positivity, because whatever you feel, you emit out is what you're going to get back. I feel like everything is about energy and vibrations. Like I am, like you ladies.
Now, do you think that's a fake it till you make it thing? Or is that like you are positive anyway? And
I think
the positivity just helps to remind you where you're at. Like, are you making positivity by forcing yourself to be positive, or are you positive anyway and you're just trying to grow it?
Oh, y'all asking some hard questions. Can I get a
like, I feel like you are positive, like a naturally positive person. Like I can feel that vibe from you. But like what you said when you were having your postpartum, like you felt like you were positive on the outside, but on the inside you really weren't. So maybe it's a mix for you.
Yeah. And you know what? I think there may be times where you have to you make it, but I think what I didn't have at that moment was self-care. I was so busy worried about baby, and this is my older child getting what he needed. Everything mattered. I was so overwhelmed with, is the kitchen clean? Is the floor clean? The baby's on the floor. This, that. And you know what? At the end of the day, they're not gonna remember none of that crap. All they gonna, my son says, "Mommy, I just want. Well, we gonna be able to have. I mean, like they don't care if the house clean. I mean, like it needs to be clean to have order, but they don't care about much of that stuff. So, for me, and I let a lot of outside. Well, being a single parent is taboo, number one, and I let that burden me. And I am not. Like Alex said earlier, every day is a new start. And I listened to a morning meditation called like New Start. Fitbit have it going on with these meditations, honey. And so I just listened to a new start. It's a brand new day. God has woken me up, or the creator, whoever you want to say it, has woken me up. This is a new opportunity, a new day. And I just try to make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to fake it till I made it a lot. Time for us to shut down. And I am so excited. This is the first episode of Wellness Uncorked. And we was going to be discussing and reacting to videos. And like this one, it was absolutely amazing. You got to get down into the healing stuff. Yeah. And you not constantly on this vicious cycle like a what is it called, a little hamster wheel going around, right. And then hey, join us whenever we post. I don't know, maybe I should just let Kayla go.
Every other Friday is what we're gonna do.
Okay, every other Friday. And then so we'll probably be posting on Saturday. And Alex, thank you so much for sharing wisdom, thoughts, and everything.
So glad to be here, y'all.
It was fantastic.
And let us know in the comments if there's any subject you want us to discuss, or there's any video that you guys want us to review. I know we didn't go over the video a ton, but we definitely got some great conversations from the video we watched today. So,
fantastic. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.